going on, guys? It's Corey with TechMe, and today we're going to be reviewing the LG G6, the phone that you're probably not going to buy but should be. Okay, first up, let's go ahead and get the specs out of the way. We have a Snapdragon 821 processor with 4 gigabytes of RAM, 3300 milliamp hour battery, a 5.7-inch 1440 by 2880 IPS LCD panel, IP68 water and dust resistant, and on the front we got a 5 megapixel front facing camera. On the back here we have a dual camera setup, both having 13 megapixels each, one having an f1.8 aperture with optical image stabilization, and the other camera having an f2.4 aperture acting as a wide angle lens, which is really great, but we'll get into that further down the line when we're going over the camera. Now, we also have 32 gigabytes of onboard storage here in the US, and there's also a micro SD card slot where you could put up to 256 gigabytes in. Now let's talk about the build quality of the G6, and I think LG did a really great job here. Yeah, on the back you got the Gorilla Glass 5, on the front you got the Gorilla Glass 3, and on the sides you got this metal, and it just, all of it seems to just come together great. You got a really premium feel. It feels great in the hands. It's really not slippery at all. However, I will say the black one that I have is an absolute fingerprint magnet. I'm constantly cleaning it because that drives me insane. One of my favorite things of this build is how they use the fingerprint scanner as the power button. I think it was a really good idea by LG because there's really no point in having the power button and the fingerprint scanner not being combined. I think it works really well, and when it's on its back, you can just double tap to wake. It works really good. I think that was a great idea on their part. Now, when it comes to displays, I'm usually an AMOLED guy. I really don't think you can beat out AMOLEDs, and on the G6 here, we have a 5.7-inch IPS LCD display, and I think the biggest factor of my experience with this and how much I've actually enjoyed it is just the fact that we have the smaller bezels here. The 2.1 aspect ratio really hasn't been a huge issue. I mean, you can notice it on YouTube when you're playing the video and all that, but on other apps, you can even go into the settings and they have an app scaling option where you can choose how you want the apps to display on this 2:1 aspect ratio screen. So, I mean, to me, it really hasn't been that big of a pain. The only time you really notice is when you're watching a video and it looks like you have bezels again. And it's kind of annoying, I get it, but I think the future is in a 2.1 aspect ratio. I think you're going to see a lot of third-party apps move forward to that, and I think you're even going to see the bigger companies like Google and Facebook move forward to it, although I think it's going to take them a little bit longer. On the G6, we have a 3300 milliamp hour battery, and I got to be honest, I'm extremely satisfied with how this battery is performed. Coming from my last phone, which was the Pixel XL, I usually had to plug in about 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon just to get an extra little boost for the rest of the day. And with the G6 so far, I haven't had to do that, and I'm a pretty heavy user. I work 12-hour shifts. I'm constantly on my phone, and I've had nothing but good things to say about this battery. I don't know whether it's because maybe LG had the time to optimize their UI experience to work more efficiently with the 821 processor. I'm really not sure. All I know is that I usually can't get a phone to last me an entire day, and with the G6, it has been lasting me an entire day. Now here we have the camera. As you can see, if you just do this little gesture thing on the screen, you swipe anywhere, it'll flip back and forth. It's kind of like Snapchat with the double tap, and it switches to the front, to the rear camera. Now on the bottom here, you also have a brightness adjuster, and that comes in handy. On the side here, with the extra screen real estate of this phone, they actually give you on the side your most recent pictures in your camera roll, which is great. And as soon as you take the pictures, they show up over there. It doesn't matter if you switch back and forth from landscape to the normal view. And we also have this feature on the top right here. If you hit it, it'll drop down and it has all your social media places, anywhere that you can really share that a picture that you just took. I think that's really convenient. And now with the wide angle lens, I haven't really had a great experience with it. I don't know if it's just me, but my subjective opinion is that it really doesn't take the best quality of pictures. However, it is really convenient when you're trying to get a lot more into a picture and you just can't get it with the regular one. So instead of backing up, it's easier to just flip over to that wide angle lens and get the shot that you need. Now, I just kind of want to talk about my experience with the G6 so far. Pushing all the specs aside, I've been really impressed with the G6. I had never had an LG device before. I'd mainly veered away from them because of the boot loop issues in the past. And, when they came out with this design with the smaller bezels, the bigger screen and the smaller phone, I was extremely intrigued. Like, I had to get this phone. So, and I'm glad I did. I really, really, really enjoy this phone. I'm actually considering keeping it over my Pixel XL. That's how much I've liked it so far. Now, my main problem with a lot of Android phones that I've been using was always the performance in third-party apps like Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, but I mean primarily Snapchat. It was always laggy. The cameras just looked grainy. They never really worked properly. And the first phone that I had that had no issues anymore with Snapchat was the Pixel XL. And the G6 now is the same way for me. I haven't had any issues with it. It performs great. And that's a big part for me because I use a lot of social media apps. And I think a lot of people have that problem with Android. I really just want to give a shout out to LG and creating a great product in the G6. From design to build quality to the performance, overall, everything just seems to work seamlessly. Even with the older Snapdragon 821 processor, everything is just ran perfectly for me. And now it's only been a week's usage, and maybe it'll slow down in time, but I'll keep you guys updated on that. So now I left out a little bit of stuff, well, probably a lot of stuff with this review. I think the number one thing is going to be the wireless charging that we got with the G6 in the US here. But I mean, me personally, I think wireless charging is a meme. I don't want to spend, 40 some odd bucks on a wireless fast charging stand just to put it there when I go to sleep. I'd rather just plug it in. Until it gets to the point where you can walk into a room and your phone's charging, I don't know. I'm really not going to consider it. But I thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. If you like the video, go ahead, give me a thumbs up. And if you want to keep watching more of my videos, hit the subscribe button. Thank you guys so much.